Monster Madness.
Oh, I just love those Spirit Halloween stores. There was nothing like this when I was a kid. Now every season, they pop up just kind of out of nowhere, like a spirit. You'll just be driving by and look, there it is. You gotta stop and go in. Besides the abundance of costumes and props, I love all those animatronic monsters and stuff. There's always that button on the floor, and of course, you just gotta step on that and watch that thing come to life. Well, what if they really did come to life? What if you were locked in a Spirit Halloween and things started attacking? Well, that's now a movie. It's a perfect concept. But is the execution as good as the idea? Let's take a look. Spirit Halloween, the movie. First, I want to say this is not a scary movie by any means. I'd actually go as far to say being in a Spirit Halloween store is way scarier. But the movie is clearly geared towards kids. It definitely has a kid-friendly feel. It's rated PG-13, but I can't even imagine why. This is the softest PG-13 I've ever seen, far below those hard PGs by Spielberg like Gremlins and Temple of Doom. That was back when PG-13 didn't exist. But now it seems G doesn't exist, so I don't know. Talking about MPAA ratings would be a whole other topic. This is a throwback film. It feels a lot like something you'd see from the 80s and early 90s. Think like Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? The opening credits, yeah, remember opening credits? They're set to a group of kids riding bikes to calm music and gorgeous fall foliage. It's refreshing to see a movie start off with such a leisurely pace, so it feels very nostalgic to me. One of the big nostalgic factors is Christopher Lloyd. Oh hell yes, Christopher Lloyd. He only appears in the opening scene, but his voice is sprinkled in through the rest. For a small part, it makes an impact. I didn't even realize how much I missed seeing him act in these type of movies. Think of all his villain roles like Judge Doom in Roger Rabbit or Switchblade Sam in Dennis the Menace. Well, he's back. This is the Christopher Lloyd you know and love. I actually forgot how great of an actor he is, and he hasn't lost a thing. Even for just a dumb little role like this, he gives it 100%. He chews it up, not like he's trying to win an Oscar, but like he knows who's watching. He's aware of his audience, and it seems he's having fun with it. He plays Alec Windsor, a rich landowner who's trying to acquire more land, and stoops as low to try and shut down an orphanage. But he messed with the wrong orphanage, as the caretaker has some magic witch powers and strikes him down, dead before the opening credits. But now he's a ghost, and where does that ghost go? Well, into a Spirit Halloween store. I gotta say, I just love the fact that it's a Spirit Halloween. It's not some made-up store. They actually filmed in a real Spirit Halloween in Georgia, which used to be a Toys R Us. I think more stores should make movies. Hey, good advertising. Also, gotta mention, Night of the Living Dead is playing on the TV. That's like a tradition. I think every horror movie is better if it has Night of the Living Dead in it. The main characters are a group of kids, Jake, Carson, and Bo. Jake's feeling down, his mother remarried, who's played by Rachel Lee Cook, and his little stepsister wants to decorate princesses in the yard instead of scary Halloween stuff. He's disappointed that his friends aren't into trick-or-treating anymore, and he wants to rejuvenate their Halloween fun, so he talks Carson and Bo into spending the night at the store. So they hide in the coffin decorations until the employees close up. Then there's a lighthearted montage of them just playing around and having fun. But then, weird stuff starts happening. Earlier, they brought up the legend of Alec Windsor and how he haunts the town every year. But then while they're in the store, they pull out a book and read more about the legend. Surprise! The store is built on that spot where he died. Of course. The first thing the ghost takes control of is a tall, skull-faced specter with red glowing eyes. The effect is very cheesy because you actually see the ghostly projectile go into the decoration, and once it comes alive, it has that glowing aura around it. Then when it starts moving around and chasing them, I found myself laughing because it's one of the few films I can think of where the special effect is a decoration. You can actually buy the effects to this movie. And I can't count how many times I've used a store-bought costume or prop as an effect in one of my old movies. So you can hardly fault it for not looking real, although I could have done without the glowing aura. On the other hand, the glow very much reminds me of 90s TV effects like in Are You Afraid of the Dark, so it plays into the whole nostalgic feeling. Also, Christopher Lloyd's voice is coming out of it. Just imagine, Halloween decorations are coming alive and shouting like Doc Brown. What more could you ask for? But there's always another animatronic that comes to attack them, because each time they defeat one, the ghost possesses another, such as a giant evil teddy bear and a guy with a buzzsaw and a mallet for hands, so it's always changing it up. About halfway into the film, Carson's older sister, Kate, who's been looking for them, breaks into the store and joins up with them. They give her fun stuff to do. She does cartwheels and kicks, taking down the teddy bear, and helps the rest of them fight the animatronics using toy weapons. She even gets possessed at one point. And yes, she speaks in Christopher Lloyd's voice. So I'm not going to summarize the entire thing, even though I don't think there's any major spoilers anyone would care about. There's not really a whole lot more to this movie. It's just 4 kids in a Halloween store shooting Nerf guns and tennis balls at decorations come alive. It's purely driven by nostalgia, all those movies with children as the protagonists. It brings to mind The Goonies, Ernest Scared Stupid, maybe a little The Monster Squad, but those comparisons aren't to say this movie ever reaches that standard. Those are the type of movies it's trying to be. I wish I could say it's great, but to be honest, it's really not a good movie. The acting is not bad, and all the young actors do the best job possible, but the script just isn't anything special. I probably made this movie sound much better than it actually is, but it's still fun. It's lighthearted, it's innocent, there's nothing to hate about it, it's just that the concept is so much better than the actual film. It also must be said that this is a lower budget movie. It's not like a major mainstream release. Some might think a Spirit Halloween movie is kind of a shameless advertisement, but it never comes off that way to me. It's not like the kid characters keep stopping to draw attention to certain costumes or props that you could buy. Instead, it just feels like the store happens to be the perfect setting. It's the whole novelty of the film. It's relatable because you can actually go inside the same type of store, or the same exact store for that matter. Visiting a Spirit Halloween is on my checklist every October. It's just one of those traditions. So I'm real glad to see a movie made about it. I'd like to see more of this kind of thing done in different ways. You know what I'd like to see? A horror film about Bestel die cuts. You know, those old traditional decorations? I want to see those things coming alive. Yeah, 2-dimensional paper black cats and pumpkins, but it's rated R. I mean, hard, brutal. Like those paper witches and skeletons are ripping people's throats out. That would be amazing. But make it legit scary, like so messed up that you don't know whether to laugh or not. Just call it die cuts. Yeah. Anyway, Spirit Halloween is worth a watch for nostalgia's sake, and it's only an hour 20, the Evil Dead length, so you don't have much to lose.